Marvel didn't just create icons like Spider-Man and the X-Men, it also cooked up some of the weirdest off-brand Justice League copies you've ever seen. From a twisted Batman in Chicago to a whole fake league erased from reality, these forgotten knockoffs tried to be legends and ended up as some of Marvel's strangest deep-cut curiosities hiding in old pages. If you're into comics and nerd content like this, hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Hawkowl is Jack Danner, a grim, middle-aged vigilante from Ultimate Adventures, created as a straight-up Batman parody for Marvel's Ultimate line. A rich screw-up from Chicago, he burns his inherited fortune on gadgets, a gloomy owl car, and a secret base, with only his long-suffering butler Tolliver to patch him up and remind him he is not nearly as cool as the Dark Knight he is copying, no matter how hard he tries out on patrol. Instead of adopting a graceful acrobat like Robin, Hawkowl ends up with Hank Kipple, a foul-mouthed orphan who stumbles into his lair and becomes the sidekick Woody. Their whole book plays like a warped parody of Batman and Robin, right down to gross recurring gags like the pet owl pooping on Woody's head, and the fact their entire crime-fighting career barely lasts one short, forgotten miniseries in the early 2000s, before vanishing. Woody is Hank Kipple, a loud-mouthed orphan from St. Frederick's in Chicago, who basically exists to be a twisted Robin for Hawkowl. Always in trouble with nuns and authority, he stumbles onto Jack Danner's secret lair and discovers the truth behind the grumpy billionaire. Instead of a graceful circus acrobat, Hawkowl ends up stuck with this scrappy street kid as his unwanted but determined sidekick. Hank grabs the costume and tries to be a hero on his own when the unhinged school headmaster attacks his class, but Hawkowl has to step in and gets captured instead, proving how unprepared Woody really is. Their series leans into gross comedy, like a pet owl constantly pooping on Woody's head, and after one strange, forgotten miniseries, both boy and mentor disappear from Marvel history almost completely. Great Society is a full superhero team built as Marvel's answer to the Justice League, hailing from Earth 429001 and starring obvious analogs like Sun God, the Rider, Dr. Spectrum, Boundless, the Jovian, and the Norn. Each member fills a slot you recognize instantly, from Superman-style leader to Batman-style vigilante and Dr. Fate-style magician, turning the whole squad into a multiversal knockoff of DC's greatest icons. They protect their world from cosmic threats like the Mapmakers, but run into the Illuminati from Earth 616 during the incursions, when two Earths are doomed to collide. In a brutal crossover, these Justice League stand-ins lose their world and their lives, with Namor triggering a bomb that wipes out their entire reality. Only their Dr. Spectrum survives to join a new Squadron Supreme, making the Great Society feel like a disposable, tragic Justice League clone. Power Princess is Zarda Shelton, a warrior from Utopia Isle created as Marvel's version of Wonder Woman, with super strength, flight, and a mythic homeland shaped by Kree experiments to build a flawless society of enlightened superhumans. She fights for justice on Earth 7-12 as both a patriotic symbol and living relic of that dream, trading Themyscira for an island that still sets her apart from ordinary humans everywhere she goes. Zarda falls in love with shipwrecked sailor Howard Shelton and stays at his side as he grows old while she barely changes, creating a bittersweet romance Wonder Woman never really had on the page. She serves first with the Golden Agency and later in the Squadron Supreme, wielding a transparent shield on global broadcasts, yet, despite centuries of battle experience, she is still mostly known as the Wonder Woman of another universe. Blue Eagle is James Dorr Jr., the legacy hero of Earth 712 who inherits his father's mantle after the original American Eagle, a World War II flyer, retires from the Golden Agency. At first, he uses names like American Eagle and Cap'n Hawk, before finally settling on Blue Eagle, strapping on a helmet, talons, and a set of artificial anti-gravity wings built by his parents so he can soar into battle with the Squadron Supreme. During the Squadron's Utopia program, Blue Eagle becomes one of their most visible symbols, patrolling from above as the team enforces its controversial world-fixing plan. His story turns tragic when fallout from Nuke's unstable nuclear powers boils his blood midair and kills him. leaving his lover Lady Lark to claim his wings and become Skylark, while his legacy fades as Hawkman but from Marvel's weird Justice League in the sky. Amphibian is Kingsley Rice, the Aquaman analog of Earth 712. Born a human Atlantean hybrid who can breathe underwater, withstand oceanic pressures, and swim at incredible speeds. As one of the earliest members of the Squadron Supreme, he takes on the role of Undersea Guardian, representing the vast oceans of his world while his teammates handle skies and cities, even if he never quite escapes that off-brand King of the Seas label. In battles against foes like a Serpent Crown-controlled Squadron and the Avengers, Amphibian ends up humiliated by heroes such as Hellcat, showing how limited he can be out of his element. During the Utopia program, he grows increasingly uneasy with behavior modification and authoritarian tactics, ultimately abandoning both the team and the surface world entirely, retreating to the depths and leaving only echoing disappointment behind. Lady Lark is Linda Lewis, a rising singer whose career is destroyed when an accident ruins her vocal cords, and the villain, Dr. Decibel, replaces them with synthetic ones. The procedure gives her a sonic scream powerful enough to shatter steel, but also ends her life as a performer, pushing her to reinvent herself as Lady Lark and join the Squadron Supreme as their reluctant bird-themed counterpart to Black Canary on Earth 712 forever. Linda never truly embraces the hero life and longs to go back to music, which makes what Golden Archer does to her even darker. He uses Tom Thumb's behavior modification device to force her to love him and accept his proposal. After his expulsion and death, she inherits Blue Eagle's anti-gravity wings, rebrands as Skylark and becomes a stronger fighter, but still feels like a tragic mashup of Canary and Hawkgirl more than her own legend. Tom Thumb is Thomas Thompson, the pint-sized genius who designs almost every piece of advanced technology used by the Squadron Supreme, from personal force fields and pacifier guns to their massive satellite and headquarters. Nicknamed after the fairy tale tiny hero, he serves as the Atom-style brain of this off-brand Justice League, staying in the lab while gods and warriors punch holes in reality around him every single day. Behind the scenes, Tom Thumb's story is one of the darkest in Squadron Supreme. He invents the behavior modification machine that his teammates abuse, fails to cure cancer even as Nuke's parents and then Tom himself are dying from it, and briefly considers poisoning Hyperion when Scarlet Centurion offers a miracle cure. Instead, he refuses to betray his friends, enters his own hibernaculum, and becomes the first casualty of their so-called utopia. Nuke is Albert Gaines, the Squadron Supreme's living nuclear reactor, created when he was accidentally exposed to radioactive waste at a power plant, and gained the ability to unleash devastating blasts of atomic energy. At first, he tries to be a classic superhero in a containment suit, filling the Firestorm-style role on the team, but his glowing powers carry a hidden cost that slowly poisons everyone unlucky enough to live near him. When Nuke discovers his own parents are dying of cancer caused by his constant radiation, he begs Tom Thumb to find a cure, and spirals as every attempt fails. Desperate and guilt-ridden, he snaps, turning his powers on the world before Dr. Spectrum is forced into a brutal showdown that ends with Nuke's unstable energy ripping him apart, leaving behind one of the most tragic and disturbing nuclear knockoff arcs in Marvel history. Arcana Jones is the resident sorceress of Earth 712, a powerful mystic who starts her career as a professional medium before deciding she can earn more money and provide for her husband Philip and their growing family by catching criminals. Joining the Squadron Supreme as Arcana, she becomes their Zatanna-style magical specialist, bending natural forces and energy fields with spells that feel more like weird science than tricks. Unlike many team magicians, Arcana balances multiversal crises with motherhood, raising several children while reality shakes around her, and still showing up when the Squadron needs a sorcerer. Later, she adopts the alias Moonglow and survives disasters like Death of a Universe, outliving friends such as Tom Thumb and Nuke, yet remaining mostly remembered as that other Zatanna copy, stranded inside Marvel's strangest Justice League pastiche. That's it for our look at Marvel's strangest knockoff Justice League experiments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep cut tour, leave a like, drop a comment telling me your favorite or worst copy, and subscribe so you don't miss the next video.